Okay, set up to throw. Like
All right, another lesson reaction from my couch.
Your front side right now, it's just
kind of liking these kind.
Open this way. So that means your
get
ball's
to
going anywhere. So with a strong
hang
front
out.
side,
Got my leopard print blanket.
Reach across your body.
We're good to go.
And turn your hips first. Reach across. Hips, hips, hips. Show me hips. Turn. What?
Sorry, I'm not understanding.
Okay.
I'm slow today.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so when our hips turn, what direction are they turning? When you hit or when you throw? How do you turn your hips? Yeah, that's the first thing you do. Yeah, so we go here, and then we get turned to close, and then when we throw, our hips turn like this, right? But our upper body stays closed. Yeah, stiff or closed.
I was like trying to follow along with her understanding.
Hips, 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 hips.
This is what's so hard with teaching throwing in slow motion, because it's such a natural instinct for even kids when they get to lessons, because everybody has thrown and caught before they have come to lessons, right? Nobody's doing it for the 100% first time. And a lot of the time it's the first thing that you learn when you're learning softball is how to play catch. So this is also something that we battle, because so many kids think, oh, I know how to play catch. So they actually don't do what Aviana was doing there, and they stop and actually really listen and try to grasp what I'm saying. They'll just go through and keep doing the same thing over and over. But really, to change, we have to have more awareness than that.
Last ball, hard throw.
All right.
Let's go.
Last video, we went over one of the posts that did really well. I would like to do that again because that was fun. And I got to talk about something more than just watching what's going on in this video. So right now my very raw, real reaction is I'm wearing those same pants that I always wear. That's a cool kind of pullover color that I've got on. Anyways, let's go to the next most interacted with reel. Let's see. This Be a Good Teammate one just actually hopped over the Fairness Has No Place in Competitive Sports. So let's read that one and see what you guys think about that. Okie dokie. So this one is a shorter caption, but it is a reel where I'm talking through.
Okay, last 2 tries. Let's
go. How I was selfish actually when I was playing. So I'm going to read the caption. Be a good teammate. One of the simplest concepts, yet very difficult to be consistent day in and day out with, unless you practice and your internal conversation keeps this a priority. This was shared over 5,000 times, which is crazy. So it's got 211,000 views so far. That's a lot of people. So let me just watch this really quick.
I do not care if the ball pops out.
Let's see.
But try to hit it off the middle of our glove. If we bobble it, gets elbows up. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so in the beginning of this talk, I actually told a story about how in 2009 we won the World Series. I was expected to be a preseason All-American. 2010, I'm a junior now, just like big bad. I've got my championship ring on my finger. I'm supposed to have a ton of confidence, but I can't hit and I'm not performing. So I talk about how one of my biggest regrets was sucking energy from my team and not understanding that the best thing that I could do, no matter how I was performing, was understand how I was managing my energy or manage my energy in general. So be more external instead of totally internal and worry about how bad I was doing, how it looked, like really reevaluating all the things I did wrong. And to a certain extent, a lot of us will think, okay, well, I have to do that in order to get better. Yes, but there's kind of a line, right? I'll just watching Tori's little dance here. But a lot of teams will have a rule like, hey, after you strike out, the team will give that person time to put her helmet down. Once her batting gloves come off, she has to get back to like the fence of the dugout and start cheering again. Some people have like a timer. After 60 seconds, you can no longer like be internal and be all about yourself or be quiet. You have to go and re-engage. And re-engaging is kind of another way of that get an external idea. And in this post, I've explained more of what that was. My infield coach at Washington, he would say this all the time: get external, get external. And I didn't really understand it. Mostly I understand it way more now because I see all the kids so internal when they're trying to figure it out in lessons. But here's what it means. When you're internal, you're thinking about everything that you've done wrong. All your energy is going inside to you. When in reality, the game is not happening inside of you. The game is happening out here with your teammates. And all the energy that you're giving yourself, you should be giving your teammates. We should be external. So how do we get external? Talk. Pick your eyes up. Go, hey, I'm good. Right? So then, and I talk about this too, imagine you're on the field with somebody that just made a mistake. You can tell in their face, you can tell in their body language, you can tell in like how they're kicking the dirt, they're really upset at themselves. And you as like their teammate, and a lot of times my teammates were my friends, I felt for that. You're like, man, I hope she's not too hard on herself. I know how that feels. And sometimes you maybe don't want to throw the ball to them because you don't want to look at them in the eyes and kind of have that uncomfortable moment of like, they should have done something better, but you don't. It's just a weird thing that we all know, but we try to avoid. So I'm just taking the longest time to explain this because I did it way better in the video. Is instead of that whole awkwardness and all the energy being on the mistake, wouldn't you much rather, if you were the person that made the mistake, release all of your teammates of that energy, release them of feeling obligated to tend to you and your feelings?
So that's easy.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So then how do you do that? Hey, my bad, I'm good. Next play. And so many people say that, hey, you shouldn't say my bad because failure is a part of sport. Like, you shouldn't feel guilty for doing bad, but a lot of times we just do. So it doesn't matter what you say. What you say doesn't have to be perfect. And maybe you don't have to say anything, but by picking up your body language, getting your eyes up, getting your chest up, pounding your glove a little bit, like getting the energy outside of you and being external, that's what that post is about. So, man, that has been shared a ton. I'm excited for it. It means people are having that conversation with their teams.
I've got a proposition for all rec leagues. Now that you guys are doing your opening ceremonies, you're getting started. I want to give you guys the most tools that I possibly can, and I have that inside Defense Club. So if you want my online platform for $1 for the first month for all of your league members, all you have to do is get your league president to contact me. You can email me, and I'm going to give you a promo code to get all of those Defense Club memberships for $1 for your first month. Do it now.
Wow.
So what is Defense Club? Defense Club is my online platform. I've got
definitely think that these were posted on social media, but they're just not super highly viewed. So Defense Club has its own Instagram handle, and we mostly are posting like highlights of the live events that we're doing. And those live events, 3 of them have been with our one-on-one coaches that you can work with every single week, or your athlete can work with every single week. But people don't really like those videos because it's just listening to conversation.
So
When conversation can teach a lot, it is not as exciting as drills. It's not as exciting as seeing people actually play softball. And that's why Defense Lessons has more followers than Defense Club. But Defense Club, the actual platform, has so many resources. It's just like, even if it's offered to people for $1 a month, people won't investigate and say, I wonder why. I wonder why she's trying to get people in there. Because there's cool stuff in there. So I'm going to find some better ways to talk about Defense Club because I'm yawning. Don't know. Because Defense Club is legit. And we've got around 500 people in there right now, paying for monthly or annual memberships. To who's gonna win, and you guys aren't paying attention to the little things, which is how many steps. If you like the drills, all of my drill videos are in there. Majority of them, even though I'm making up new drills. There's things that I do every week for some reason or another. Why? When it's so simple, why can't we execute it? Oh, talking about throwing again. Why not? I'm asking, not rhetorical. It's because we haven't had the reps of doing it that way over and over the right way. So this is all I want you guys to do. You guys are going to partner up. You're going to sync time up to get to our back foot before the ball hits our glove. Sync. I wonder if there'll be video of the girls doing this. Sync, throw. Okay. Some of you guys won't even have to step. We're just getting it in and out. All right, so we missed one ball. I don't want to see you guys do burpees. I literally don't care. But how many balls did we miss the first time? Like 6, right? Did not show them doing this drill. That last time, why didn't we miss balls? Nobody knows? Because we're scared of threes. There's a punishment. Well, there's a consequence. We upped our intensity of the actual drill. Okay? Like, I don't know. I can't stress this enough that why be here if we're not going to already be functioning at that intensity? Why? Okay? So we're going to do drills. Do not go through the motions. Even if you think you've done it a million times before. Playing catch. If somebody just saw this and they were recruiting you guys to go to college, they'd probably walk out. Like, that's a little bit embarrassing if we can't play catch. That's true, right? If you were to see another team playing catch and you see 6 balls flying and they're only trying to get to 10, you're like, oh, we're going to kick their butts. We're going to kill them. Right? You guys aren't on a team right now, right? We're not playing a game. Everybody's here to get better. So I'm not trying to make you feel bad for not being able to play catch, but up the intensity because you're completely capable. That's the only reason I'm saying it. We should be able to have 10 out of 10 throws. It's not hard for you guys. Okay? So lock in. Go. So I go back and forth. Like, that talk there was about me being disappointed with how many balls we missed with them playing catch. And that was right before a high school level class, meaning that's not middle. We shouldn't be missing that much. Especially because half of the girls in this class aren't there to like remake their throw. Majority of them will say, hey, my goal here in this class is to get reps. I don't really want to correct my throwing form. That's not what I'm needing. But some of them are in there for that. But it's funny that the girls that are in there working on their form aren't the ones that are missing the ball. And I can't say that with 100% accuracy because we didn't see them actually throw. But it wasn't just one girl that was missing all the balls. I remember there were a lot of throws coming from everywhere. And that's what is super frustrating with training, is if we don't have that intensity, like I said. Take off to go get it. Stay the whole time. Ready. Whoa. Ready. But there is a balance there, and the balance between being tough because the standard is the standard, and we shouldn't be throwing balls everywhere. And on the other side is, well, these girls are in the class, so they're more to train to be more consistent. So how can I get upset when they supposedly don't know how and they're there to learn how to be more consistent? I'm like aware of these two sides, but also when the intensity and the focus isn't there when we're playing catch, that's where this side doesn't get as much attention, because if we're lackadaisical and we're not 100% focused, we're not making adjustments throw to throw, that's where I know that they're not learning. I know that they are in a different mindset. They're more so in like space out mindset, because when we play catch, that's what a lot of teams are in for team warm-ups before games. They're literally just getting their shoulder loose and warm. We're not practicing good habits. And that's what develops a lot of bad habits, is not actively doing all the good ones. Because if we're not practicing the good habits, what are we doing? We're just kind of letting things happen.
There you go. Is Layla serious?
I love these partner races. A lot of times we do those turn and run races for the young ones to get them used to turning and sprinting straight back for drop steps. They're just kind of sprinkled in there. Again, see lots of live reps with these girls, because that's what they're here for. All right, I wonder if I could do one more post analysis in 3 minutes. Let's see.
Did you guys understand what Morgan was saying? Like if I have time, make sure to get around it. Yeah.
Okay, Faith is not talking about what I was saying before.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Something different.
Then let's do it. Ready? Let's go.
Let's see.
Set up for a backhand though, because that's the.
We want to look at views. Okay.
Oh, she got it right. Good job.
All right. This one is. We got 2 minutes. This was viewed. Got a drop off 63,000 times. Shared 1,600 times. Life is about who recovers the quickest. Everyone fails sometimes, but the great ones use their failure for fuel. On the contrary, if you're not ever pushing your limits to failure at times, you won't ever know how great you can be. I was a robot in high school. I did everything right, but I also was scared to death of who I would be if I wasn't successful. There are parts of me now that shut down when things go wrong, but it's healthy to remember that without failure, there cannot be real growth.
Good. Oh.
So how does that apply to
Did you guys understand
what I just said and training in general? One, when we play catch, sometimes we space out, even when we know we need to have better mechanics. We space out because learning something new, our throw's probably going to get worse before it gets better. And many of us will feel more comfortable in the known bad versus they'd rather feel comfortable than uncomfortable in this unknown, I don't know when this is going to get better. A lot of people actually know how to like throw a little bit not as hard, or they know to open their front shoulder because their ball sails that way. So if they open their front shoulder a little bit more, it's more on target.
She is giving me the nastiest look ever.
But
don't get that.
Yeah, is that the right way to go about it? I don't know. You have to like choose your hard, right? Is it hard to be somebody that the coach knows throws not as hard or isn't super consistent, but I don't know, maybe your hard is not starting because you don't throw as hard? Or would you rather choose the hard of
nice, good job, good adjustment.
Having your throw be unpredictable because you're learning a new throw, but ultimately set you up for a harder throw, you understanding your throw more, moving forward, and you knowing how to make adjustments because you took the time to learn. Use failure as a tool.
Same thing.
Super hyper focused on throwing lately the last couple years because it really does dictate a lot with the positions that you can play and your ability on the field. All right, hopefully next time I've got some new ideas for you. Hope you guys all have a great week.